Today I'm reading from the book Spirit of Homeopathy, book written by Dr. Rajan Shankaran, and Mind section, chapter number 29, Mind and Body. Remaining part 2. Under label Mind and Body, the Sepia. Sepia is the person who, through prolonged stress and strain of life, means from long suffering, feels dragged down, very miserable and apathetic, but at the same time retain her sensitivity and react with a irritability, resulting occasionally in a violent outburst of the temper, discarding or throwing away the things. Even the things that she used to like before now produce an aversion. The Sepia woman seems to have no strength to get out of the situation. The best mode of survival for her is to linger on in his sadness, miserable state and react violently sometime. She become cold and withdrawn and like to keep herself busy. When you examine the physique out of long suffering and too many deliveries, the body is weakened and she reacts feebly. Her complaint linger on and when exposed to the noise, odor, etc., she reacts violently even with vomiting. Such a pleasant things of the life like milk is rejected violently. She developed a aversion to her loved one, husband, family members, etc. She may like to occupy mentally and physically like a brisk movement as if this help her to forget her mistake or forget her misery. The mind reacts to the stressor in the same way as the body. How the body sees the situation, the mind will also see the same way. Now, under the label physical and mental analogy, in some other remedies. In my experience, the main action of silicia in the body is usually localized to the particular organ, and here it produces stubborn, hardened lesion, while the rest of the body emaciate. In this local part, there is an overreaction, a show of the strength and of a defense of hypersensitivity. For example, we see its in action in tubercular gland, action on a tubercular gland, arthritic joints, produce flash in a wound and ulcer, exostosis in the bone, keloid, and migraine. We find this weak emaciated patient overreacting in a stubborn, hardened way in a particular sphere, especially in the presence of foreign body, vaccination, or infection. By analogy, it seems that the whole body has to concentrate on this sport, means monomania, and has to show itself as strong and stubborn, means egotism and obstinate, has to react excessively, means irritability, with an inner feeling of the weakness, means cowardice and timidity, and all this when exposed to something like foreign body. Timidity when appearing in public is the rubric. This analogy can seem a bit far-fetched, but we have many such known example. For example, Arnica in the mind, ailment from mental shock and fear of being approached. Moscas has in the Kant lectures mentioned, mind is hysterical and so too the tissue are. Lycopodium, the body react to the problem with the increased activity, struggle, trying to cope with it. You see the body is struggling to cope. Sometimes it is losing and sometimes it is coming up again. It does not have enough strength to produce something violent and fight it out. It is scared that it is too scared that it will not stand that strain, unlike Naxwamika, which will produce violent reaction and fight it out. But in Lycopodium, this body is struggling to cope. There is a generalized reaction and not local hardening like a silicium. Now under the label mind, under label beyond mind and body. The essence of the above discussion is to show that the both mind and body express the same disturbance. The disturbance neither originated nor is localized to the mind nor the body alone, but it is at a level which is deeper than both. The level of disturbance is the life force itself, the consciousness that pervades the whole being. Health, disease, and cure occur at this level. The mind articulate the state based just like a parliament articulate the state of the nation. In reality, intelligence, awareness, and consciousness is a property of the life force itself and it present throughout the being. The wise man is one who is able to perceive the underlying unity of body and mind and will choose symptoms that come closer to the representing the underlying disturbance. If we find those symptoms that represent the underlying state, features that are common to mind and body, our perception will be much more accurate. The underlying disturbance will express itself in the mind and body, but we should be able to see beyond the differences. For example, when we spoke of the lysinum case in the chapter Unsuitable Reaction, we could see that the itching was violent and coming into paroxysm. The skin was extremely sensitive. In the mind, too, we saw the same sensitivity and violence in the paroxysm. Now, when we look at the two main symptoms of that child, violence in paroxysm, abnormal sensitivity. We are not referring merely to body or mind but to the underlying disturbance, which is the one we have to treat.